Yeah, Sveno Mick here, Main Street of Maleny, top end. And this is the Maleny marketplace. They make a good coffee here, nice breakfast. But this in 1978, where I done my first year, 1 year and 1 week of work, was Wilson's Garage. And it was owned and run by George Moffat and his wife Ruth when I worked for him, Ruth and George Moffat. And there was son Wayne, Deanne and Tanya were the daughters. Now, where you can see probably about where the on the Maleny marketplace is, there was fuel pumps there. The little window, the two little windows you can see there. The one behind MAR and Marketplace, that was the office. And the one on the right was the spare parts where George used to spend a lot of time. Now, there was, he used to have his tow truck in there, and that's Aloe Flora now. They make nice coffee too, and that's where they used to have their tow truck. There was an old FJ Holden, an old, I think it was hand-painted FJ sedan. Wayne and I, sometimes we just sit in there and have lunch, because we used to have lunch, no smoko, hour off for lunch. Start at 8 in the morning, go through till 5 with an hour for lunch. But some days the days would run. I remember going home on the push bike at 8:30 one night. Back in those days, you just got paid for your 8 hours, or whatever it was. So that's your tow truck. There's a few spares, I can't remember. It was big steel gates he used to have on there. Just big mesh gates all welded together, all chained together. It certainly didn't look like that. I'll see if I can find some photos of that building and put it on. But as I was saying, George used to sit across, Jim Cork had the garage down. I'll see that car going down there. Now, I'll tell you when we get down around about where Jim Cork's cars used to be, garage was about there, and I'm going to go down and pull up in front of it and show you it. And then I'm just going to do you a quick run down the main street here. Now, we're in lockdown. I've just got to get some fuel. And George would sit up here looking down there. I'd be in there working. That was all more open there, where, say, over the driver's seat of that Hilux, that was all open up, and that was big doors, and there's big doors in where that koala bear is, down below that. So that was a lube bay there, and that had a hoist, and there's a hoist inside. Very good, well-run workshop. Tidy as. A lot of tools, everything you needed. But just a pretty hard sort of a bloke to work for. Well, I found him that way. He wasn't a bad little bloke, but little fella, and I reckon about 5'3" tall, stocky little bloke. But anyhow, so what we've got here now is I'm going to drive down there. I'm going to grab some fuel and I'll do a video of that down there. Yeah, so what we had here was Cork's garage. It didn't look like that either. It was just your typical garage lot office. Down the back there, in and around probably the late 70s, early 80s, Kelly, one of his sons, Kelly Cork, he's a machinist now, does actually more stuff on push bikes than anything. But that was his little Maleny mini motors, what do you call it, Maleny small engines. It's a little gallery down there. But that was the garage. And quickly just get out, I just want to show you. Where are we? This before. This isn't supposed to be locked down, and I'll tell you what, there's people driving around this joint everywhere. So that there was the ambulance station. Keeler, Mr. Keeler was the ambulance man, and my dad unloaded the D4 right there, but all that building was there, so the street, this was the normal width of the street here, just come up through here, and so that leopard tree and that, none of that was there. But Dad one morning unloaded customer that he was shifting because he had a float, unloaded D4 D46U right there, no blade or A-frame on it. Then we had tyres set in front, we had about 10 tyres, old tyres. And what we done is we just walked across the road with the tyres down, across into Cork's garage. Jim was very good on that old machinery, so that's where my dad bought his dozer off. But I'm going to go on to the next spot, and I just want to show you something else. So that there is Austin Meninsky's old garage. That was a very dark garage. We'd walk past that when we'd go to school in the morning. It was a long, dark, round garage. They used to sell cars out of there too. Oh, room. Double O-M-E, room. But anyway, I'm going to go on to the next place. Meninsky's garage. This place here, this is just down beside the bakery, CJ's, which I'll probably try and do coming up the street. But this was Billy Landell's, and Billy Landell was a steel worker, a fabricator. Little short bloke, he used to live there too, little bachelor. He was there for many years. Dad used to get work done because he'd do any of the heavier stuff, I think, if I remember rightly. And yeah, I reckon he was about 5 foot tall, little hunched over fella. Don't know whatever happened to him. So there we are at Maleny Library. This is always known as Tesh Park. It's more clogged up and congested from anything now. It's postage stamp size, but overused. There's the library. That used to be Tedman's fruit shop. This is in the 80s. And this vacant piece of land here was Snow McKillott's butcher shop. He also had a little meatworks, tiny little one-man show. My uncle done his apprenticeship there, Uncle Cole, and he used to butcher here. But that was a butcher shop well into the 80s, obviously long gone. And that was Norris's house right there, which is now Maleny Palace Cafe, Vietnamese. We've had some food from there, quite nice. So yeah, that's that. I used to mow this up until 18 months ago, all down here. Anyhow, I'm going to go on to the next place. So that, yeah, just when I make here again, that building there is the bakery. CJ's Pastries now. And that was the bakery where my dad done his apprenticeship. Now it was Laurie Cook, I think, was the baker. He did it for years. I remember him still baking when I was a kid. So Dad was born in 34, 44. So we'll say probably around about 1950 done his bakery apprenticeship. Couldn't get out of the joint quick enough, finished his bakery apprenticeship, and then he was straight out of there, and that's what he went into the timber. So cars going past here everywhere on lockdown. I suppose I'm out and about, it's got some fuel. But look, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't think there's anything else I can tell you about this. I'll do a bit of a another bit of a, you want to see the people looking at me. I'm YouTubing this, and they're swearing, they're looking at me. That bird, I don't know what she was doing, but she was talking to herself as she was looking at me, like I was from another planet. Oh, hang on, I might be. Anyway, I'm going to leave that. I'll show you a bit of stuff on some old photos.